Hi guys, it's just been a short little while since we've talked. I'm so glad to be with you again. There's been so many great things happening. We're getting closer and closer to that May 3rd, quote unquote, release date that we can begin to see what the new norm will be for us, how we can adjust, how we will continue to walk forward. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, all at the same time. No reason for fear. That's kind of been our theme throughout all of April as we've walked towards the light. Yes? So today's devotional, as always, very freeing. So take heart and let's read this together. Entitled, Your Past is Not Your Future. Great news, not always new news to us. Do you believe it? In John 8:10 through 11, we're given an example in the Bible of who Jesus is to us. Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, "Where are your accusers? Did even one of them condemn you?" "No, Lord," she said. And Jesus answered, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." I just really love this verse. No condemnation, freedom, mercy, grace. They're not just words, it's a person. And when you really think about the way Jesus lifted women and the broken, male or female, up in the Bible, in these true stories, these narratives and glimpses into who he is, real demonstrations, it really gives us hope, joy, and such a longing to know so much more about him. Think about it. The way he lifted this woman caught in adultery. We know her story. We don't know why or how she ended up in front of a mob, condemned, accused, and sentenced to death by stoning. We don't know all the details. Interesting that they're not given to us. But when Jesus shows up, he really opened the eyes of the accusers, and not one of them was without sin themselves. How could they throw a stone? Can you hear those stones dropping? Can you hear them dropping? Our pasts are not our future when he is in it. So think about the other stories where he did this very same thing, especially in a time when women were not given the status or given the recognition that they are in today's world. Mary Magdalene. He did the same thing for her, freed her, delivered her in a moment. She was changed. The woman at the well, he set her free and was so pleased and so excited and so full of joy. Can you just see her running back to her city, proclaiming what had just happened to her? How different she was now, and why and who. The woman with the alabaster box, and how she cried tears onto his feet. The same. She was surrounded by accusers and people that would condemn her. No explanation of why or how she was in the position that she had been in, but yet what she was so willing to surrender and to give, and she saw him. She recognized him for who he was, and she received freedom. It's a very strong message for us. Okay? So let's see what this says. Your past is not your future. None of us is without sin. And too often, we will look to men, religion, or the world for our affirmation. Every day, right? So easy to do. But these will always disappoint us. Ultimately, sin and religion will betray us. In John 8, Jesus gave dignity, power, and honor to a nameless woman who'd found herself a public spectacle. Jesus looked beyond the obvious and refused to acknowledge her present state as her permanent condition. In essence, he told her, your past is not your future. Go and sin no more. Sin was your past, but godliness is your future. Bondage was your past, but freedom is your future. Shame was your past, but dignity is your future. Nakedness was your past, but garments of splendor are your future. Jesus does so much more than forgive these women. He sends them away free. Forgiveness is where freedom begins. Freed from the bonds of sin, grace moves us forward so that sin does not ensnare us again. First, Jesus lavishes us with his mercy. He then strengthens us by his grace. For sin shall no longer be your master, because you are not under law, but under grace. That's Romans 6:14. Mercy deals with what we've done, and grace empowers us to walk in a way that honors what Jesus did on our behalf. God's mercy and grace empower us to leave behind our sinful life and to step into his future and hope. We've been given grace. The power of our former bondage has been broken. It's time to have more faith in the words of Christ, especially now as we are about to step out and cross over into the new. Our liberator, Christ. It's time to have more faith in the words of Christ, our liberator, than in the power of the chains. Their hold on us is not as great as his claim on us. Will you dare to believe and leave behind the shadows of your past? Heavenly Father, thank you for forgiving me and gracing me with a future. I believe your words of light more than I believe the lies of darkness. Say this with me. I am strong because my past is not my future. Now, here's a really interesting verse that I felt that the Lord gave me for this devotion. It's not in the devotion, but it was a strong message. I think that just sinks in. Deuteronomy 1:8. I have given you the land. Now, go and occupy it. Do you feel that? Do you sense that? There's an empowering there. We have choices. You have choices. Isn't it time that we started really living in the righteousness we have in Jesus? Isn't it time? What if you just decided right here and right now, I'm going to believe it's true? What might happen? We are crossing over. We're almost to the other side. We've had time to gain insight. Now it's time to burn bright. I don't know about you, but I can feel that. It is a new era indeed. And we are privileged to walk in it, empowered by our great God. Let this sink in. Your past is not your future. Do you feel it? That's freedom, my friends. My shirt says, "It is finished." Done. Dare to believe it. And let's see what happens together. I'll be talking to you very soon as we step out of the boat and step onto our land. Great things lay ahead. I love you guys. I'm so glad that you're all doing great. Yes, you are doing great. I hope to see you soon in person and give you all big hugs. Enjoy the rest of your day.